Hello there, and welcome to the first episode of 2025. And today I'm going to be ranking the top 8 movies I watched in 2024. Let's get straight into this. Starting off at number 8, we've got The Idea of You, a romance comedy starring Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine. If you've watched any romantic comedy ever made, you can probably already tell the story of this movie. I enjoyed The Idea of You. I am a big fan of romance comedies. I really like the genre, and this film had everything you'd want from a rom-com. The two leads had great chemistry together. Some of the dramatic moments felt real. Some of the comedy was pretty funny. The film was exactly what I expected it to be. I enjoyed The Idea of You. I think it's a solid romance comedy, and it is number 8 on this list. Coming in at number 7, we've got Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. This is the sequel to The Hitman's Bodyguard. This film stars Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds, and Salma Hayek as the three leads. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was incredibly hilarious, infinitely better than The Hitman's Bodyguard. This film had some really funny moments. I really enjoyed the action sequences. Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson were hilarious. Salma Hayek was also hilarious. The comedy in this film is incredible. I really enjoyed it. This was one of the most fun movies I've watched all year. I thought this was a very fun action comedy. Coming in at number 6, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year. I really enjoyed the first two Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and this film did not disappoint. I really liked the story, I liked the action sequences, the introduction of Shadow was done well, the way the next film was set up was great, Jim Carrey was hilarious, I really enjoyed a good amount of the comedy in this film. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was a very fun experience to watch in cinemas. I will say I did enjoy the second film a bit more, but Sonic the Hedgehog 3, in my opinion, is still a pretty good film, and I really enjoyed it. Coming in at number 5, we've got Turbo. This was an animated film released all the way back in 2013, and I really enjoyed the Turbo. I really liked the story and the main character, Turbo, voiced by Ryan Reynolds. I really was invested in his story, and Michael Peña's character, I thought he was really great, and I liked his story as well. I was invested in both of their story arcs. Turbo was a really fun film. It told a solid story. The comedy was pretty funny, and the final race scene was done very well. I really enjoyed Turbo. It is one of the best films I've watched in all of 2024. I really enjoyed this film. Coming in at number 4, we've got Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, and this was a great action film. I love the story and the concept of this film, how Tom Cruise is stuck in a time loop every time he dies. The story was told very well. Edge of Tomorrow had some great action sequences. I liked the aliens that they had in this movie and the mech suits. Edge of Tomorrow very much felt like an anime come to life, which makes sense because it is based off a light novel, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed Edge of Tomorrow. I thought it was a great film, and I had a blast watching it. I loved Edge of Tomorrow. Coming in at number 3, we've got The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot, in my opinion, was the surprise hit of 2024. Going into this movie, I was just expecting a decent animated film, but this film was infinitely better than I could have ever expected it to be. This was a phenomenal experience. I love the story of this movie with Razum and Bright Bill, and their dynamic, the way it's presented, was incredibly well done. This movie is emotionally compelling. I was fully invested in the story. It has a lot of heart, some great comedy. The action was well done. I loved The Wild Robot, one of the best films I've watched all year, an incredible experience. I love the story, I love the characters. I loved The Wild Robot. It is a great film. Coming in at number 2, Inside Out 2. I loved the first Inside Out film, and I was really looking forward to Inside Out 2, but I was a little nervous, a sequel being made 9 years after the original. Were they able to capture the magic of the original? They were able to. Inside Out 2 was a great film. I loved the story and the introduction of new emotions and the way they portrayed anxiety. It felt real, and that's the biggest positive of Inside Out, is how real it feels. Inside Out 2 is a film that has something something for everyone. Everyone can take away something from Inside Out 2. It's well animated, it tells a great, compelling story, it's emotionally compelling, I was fully invested, has some great comedy. Inside Out 2 had some great laughs. It was a great film, one of the best movies I've watched in cinemas all of last year. It was phenomenal. I loved Inside Out 2. It is a great film. I loved Inside Out 2. And finally, number 1, the best film I watched in all of 2024. The most fun I've had in a cinema in all of 2024. This film had one job to do, and that is prove that the MCU wasn't a sinking ship. Deadpool and Wolverine. This was one of my most anticipated films of 2024. Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine, a third Deadpool film. I loved the story of this film with the introduction of the concept of anchor beings and everything that happens in the void, the cameos with Blade, Gambit, Elektra, X-23, the final act of the film with the Deadpool Corps. Everything about this film was done brilliantly. This was the most fun I've had in a cinema in all of 2024. The action sequences were great. My opinion, no question, the best film of 2024, the best film I watched in 2024, and the most fun I've had in a movie theater in all of 2024. Deadpool and Wolverine, in my opinion, is the best film of 2024. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on Instagram at Said_2000, and I will see you on the next video. Till then, take care.